Pioneer fans, Pioneer men's varsity basketball is live and on the air. It is Pioneer versus Saline here at the main gym at Ann Arbor Pioneer High School, and we are very lucky to have Coach Ahrens with us. How you doing today, Coach?
Doing very well, man. I'm excited to be here. This has got to be one of the biggest games in the state.
Absolutely, it's a huge game. Definitely looking forward to it. Now, you were at the game on Wednesday and saw Pioneer beat Huron. Did you have any kind of initial thoughts about that game?
Yeah, I have some notes. As a matter of fact, I didn't get a chance to talk with Coach Marion, so I'll share with what I got here with you.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate I could sit behind the bench.
Nice, very nice.
But it was two good teams, two balanced teams, and I thought both teams had some depth in the bench, a good coaching job, and both coaches had good strategies with this one, but Pioneer, I thought, played a little better defense, and that was the difference. Morgan Lyle had the tough assignment. He had that Makari Moore, who's ranked one of the best players in the state. And Moore,
not easy, yeah.
And Moore ended up with 33, but I'm telling you, Morgan Lyle, he had to earn those points.
Absolutely.
He really did. And Nate played really good at crunch time. He played big and got some key rebounds. Matilda played well in the paint. This whole Pioneer team, in my opinion, is getting better every game. And it's not one or two players. It's a true team effort.
7-1 on the season. 8-2 Saline. Did you get a chance to talk to Saline's coach?
Yes, I did. I want to back up a second.
Please, forgive me.
Well, I'm a defensive-oriented coach,
yeah,
so
absolutely.
I look at defensive stats.
Yeah.
And Pioneer is averaging giving up 45 a game, and that's number one in this conference. And if you break that down, that's 11.3 per quarter. So let's throw that up against the Saline Hornets.
Yeah.
And Saline is averaging giving up 55.7 per game, which comes out to 13.9. So there's a little bit of a difference there.
Indeed.
I did talk to Coach Michael Merrick. It's his third season. And first thing I noticed, and you probably did, the roster with only 9 players on it, and
Indeed.
6 being sophomores.
Yes.
Some people would call that a JV team. Jonathan Sanderson, everybody's familiar with that name, and he's, I believe, was ranked the 5th or 6th best player by Mick McCabe in the Detroit News. He had a banner season last year. He's ranked the number 1 sophomore in the state. But they only have 3 returnees coming back. Coach said to keep an eye on number 0, Carr, who's 6'3", number 5, Woods, a 5'11" guard, number 4, Keys, who's 6'6". He said they mix up the defense. The number 1 factor to win this one tonight, he believes if he can out-rebound Pioneer, they have a chance to get that win.
A couple of these names might sound familiar if you watch the Saline football team, including that last name Carr is fairly familiar. That's, of course, Lloyd Carr's grandson, and his brother is going to play at Notre Dame. And Tommy had some chances at quarterback as well later. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Honor America, the playing of the national anthem. Only 2 seniors on the Saline team. Again, as you said, only 9 players, so we'll see how this matchup goes. But they have been successful. Again, 8-2 on the season is Saline, and they always play Pioneer tough. Is getting ready for our starting lineups here. As Pioneer is in their white uniforms, Saline in their yellow. Wyden announced for the Hornets. Powell being announced for Pioneer.
For Saline, number 4, sophomore center, Lincoln Keys.
Keys being announced for Saline.
Number 10, senior forward, Nate Freisteller.
Freisteller comes out for Pioneer.
For the Hornets, number 0, sophomore guard, Tommy Carr.
Carr comes out for Saline.
Pioneer, number 21, senior center, Tyler Mutinda.
Mutinda being announced for Pioneer.
For Saline, number 5, junior guard, Ladanian Woods.
Woods being announced for Saline.
For Pioneer, number 2, sophomore guard, Jordan Harrison.
Harrison being announced for Pioneer.
And for Saline, number 10, sophomore guard, Jonathan Sanderson.
Sanderson, who Coach was talking about earlier, being announced.
Senior guard, Nelson Sampa.
And Sampa for Pioneer comes out onto the court.
Michael Merrick.
Merrick, head coach for Saline. And of course, it is Rich Marion for Pioneer. And you have the officials.
Yes, tonight's officials. We got another veteran crew. A.J. Haddock, 18 years experience. Brian Brower, 25 years on the court. And a very seasoned veteran official we've seen before, Mike Knosbush, 42 years.
Lots of experience. Sampa has it. Sampa on the near wing. Kicks it over to Freisteller. Freisteller over to Powell. Powell on the far sideline. Powell dishes it back to Sampa just off the top of the key. Sampa calling on signals. Just underway, 20 seconds in. Sampa, top of the key, dishes it off over to Harrison on the near wing. Harrison working his way around the arc, over to Powell. Powell over to Sampa on the far sideline. Gets it to Mutinda, who backs his way into the paint. Back to Harrison for a 3. Off the rim, pulled down by Saline. Carr moves it over. Coming up the other direction is Sanderson. Sanderson moves it over onto the near wing for Carr. Carr dishes it back. Now works his way around. Carr coming over just inside of half court. Sampa watching him. Carr dribbles to his left. Now gets top of the key. Carr over on the far sideline. Hands it off to Sanderson. Sanderson trying to work his way around. Back to Carr. Carr to the free throw line. Into the paint. Picks up his dribble. Gets it into the near corner. 3-pointer. And that is put up as Wyden gets a 3-pointer. As 3-0, Saline with the lead, 6:38 left to go. Sampa has it for Pioneer, takes the shot from the far elbow, would not go. Rebound Keys quickly the other direction. Here comes Sanderson for Saline as he went down the side of the paint, whistle blown. We'll have our first foul of the game. That looked like it was on Harrison. Indeed. Harrison's first. As they inbound, trying to make his way in. Carr dishes it off. Now trying to come over is Woods. Woods gets to the top of the key, down into the paint, dishes it back off, over to Keys. Collision underneath, knocked away, out of bounds. That will be Pioneer's ball. 3-0 Saline with the lead, 6:25 left to go. Sampa brings it ahead. Big crowd in here, both teams well represented by their fans. Sampa over to Mutinda, top of the key, moves it over to Powell. Powell gets it over to Freisteller. Now on the near wing, Sampa underneath the Powell. Powell steps back, puts it up, rims out. Mutinda trying to get the rebound. Sanderson heads the other way for Saline. Sanderson down the far sideline. Sanderson dribbles to the baseline, comes in, trying to get around. dishes it off. Carr, top of the key now. Wyden trying to make his way in. That's loose ball. As Freisteller thought he had it, that's pulled away, put in by Keys. 5-0, Saline with the lead. Sampa brings it ahead for Pioneer over half court. Sampa hands it off on the near sideline. Harrison over to Freisteller, back to Harrison. Harrison comes over to the far wing, bounce pass to Mutinda into the paint. Mutinda puts it up, wouldn't go, off the side of the rim. Quickly the other direction. Here comes Carr. Carr gets it back to Sanderson into the paint. Sanderson up off the glass and in. Sanderson with his first points of the game, and it's a 7-0 run to open up the game for Saline. Sampa over half court for Pioneer. Sampa now on the far wing. Sampa dribbles, trying to kicks off into the far corner for Powell. That off the far side of the rim. Wouldn't go. Freisteller with the rebound, trying to go up underneath, and there is a whistle. Foul that is going to be on Wyden, I believe. Freisteller puts up and puts in. First shot for Pioneer of the game. 7-1. Freisteller trying to get it back down to a 9-point game. Next one is up and good by Freisteller. Freisteller hit them both 7-2, so it's a 5-point game. Now bringing it ahead. Sanderson steps back just inside of half court, dishes that off to Woods. Woods back over to Sanderson on the far sideline. Powell watching Sanderson. 4:49 left to go. There's a long three-pointer for Sanderson, and he hits it. That was about 5 feet off of the three-point line. Quickly underneath to Mutinda for Pioneer. Mutinda trying to put it up, would not go. Rebound Keys. 10-2, 8-point lead by Saline. Sanderson on the near wing. Sanderson steps back, puts up a long two-pointer, falls off the far side of the rim. Quickly the other direction. Here comes Sampa. Sampa to Mutinda into the paint for Pioneer. Mutinda puts it up. Off the glass and the rim, wouldn't go, but a whistle underneath. We'll see what it is. Carr picks up his first foul. 1 foul on Pioneer, 2 on Saline. Sampa the inbound baseline left. 4:18 left to go. 8-point lead by the Hornets. Freisteller puts up a three-pointer. Straight on, wouldn't go. Rebound by Keys, and Saline has not given up very many second chance points as they have done well on the defensive boards. Woods hands it off to Sanderson at the far elbow. Sanderson over to Carr coming down the baseline. Carr double team, moves it to Wyden. Now there's a three-pointer by Sanderson, and Sanderson lights it up. He has 8 points already, and it's 13-2, 11-point lead. And the Saline fans are fired up. Any thoughts so far, Coach?
Well, Saline's 5 for 6 from the floor right now, so they started hot.
Absolutely.
And Pioneer 0 of 7 from the floor.
Indeed. So tough shooting coming off for Pioneer, and Saline with the hot hand. What do you do when you're facing a team with a hot hand like that and you're having issues? Do you focus more on defense to try and clamp down to get you going? Or
You got to make some kind of defensive adjustment, maybe switch players, maybe come up with a rule once a dribble penetrators in the paint, we got to double team. We got to build the wall with our hands up and stop that scoring opportunity.
Pioneer with it, down by 11. Sampa brings it ahead over half court. Sampa dishes it over to Mutinda, back to Powell, top of the key. Over on the near wing to Sampa, gets it to Freisteller. Freisteller trying to work his way down the baseline. There is a whistle underneath. And that is going to be, I believe that was a travel. That will be Saline's ball with 3:39 left to go. Sanderson brings ahead for the Hornets over half court. As it is a 11-point lead. Sanderson on the near wing, all the way over to Tommy Carr on the far wing. He puts up a long three-pointer and hits it. And Saline can't miss at this point. 16-2, 14-point lead. Mutinda quickly underneath the basket. Foul, and you can hear what the Saline fans think of that to our left. Mutinda to the line, shooting 2.
Well, Sanderson's got 3 threes and a 2, and three of them have been from that same spot, and he's open, so he's going to take that shot, and he's going to shoot a good percentage.
Absolutely. Both he and Carr have taken a couple really deep ones from that far side. First shot by Mutinda up off the front of the rim, would not go.
And that shot's open because Saline's doing a real good job of rotating that ball. They're not holding the ball and giving the defense time to adjust. Boom, boom, quick passes, and they're finding an open man.
Mutinda with the opportunity, try and get it down to a 13-point lead. That one up and good. Mutinda with his first points of the game. He has one. 3:19 left to go here in the first. Strauss in for Pioneers. Sanderson bringing it ahead. 13-point lead for Saline. Sanderson into the near corner, gets that over to Washington. Washington trying to dribble down the baseline, moves that over onto the far side. There's a shot by Woods for three, off the rim, and pulled down by Keys, who puts it up and in. 18-3, 15-point lead for Saline. Strauss for Pioneer, moves it over to Powell. Now Harrison, top of the key. Harrison steps back, moves it over to Sampa on the near wing, back over to Strauss on the far wing. Now Powell works his way around, top of the key for Freisteller. Over to Sampa, working his way around the arc, comes to the free throw line. Now over to Harrison on the far sideline. Harrison to the free throw line. Strauss for three. He hits it. Strauss with 3 points. That makes it 18-6. Back to a 12-point lead. Saline with the ball. Sanderson just inside of half court. Sanderson calling out signal. Sampa watching him. Gets a screen from Keys. Moves it over into the far corner for Woods. Woods working his way into the paint. Now dishes off. Washington for three. Off the front of the rim. Sampa with the rebound. Here comes Pioneer. Powell coming down the near side of the paint. That tipped away from behind. Whistle. And we'll see if that's a foul or just out of bounds. Mutinda back in. So Strauss goes out, Mutinda in. Sampa inbounds. Now Freisteller down the near side of the paint. That block, but he gets it back, puts it up and in. Good job by Freisteller to stick with it. He has four, and it's 18-8. 10-point lead by Saline. Saline has the ball. Carr gets it off to Woods. Woods at the far elbow. That knocked down. Stolen away by Pioneer. Harrison the other direction for Pioneer. Harrison dishes it off. Powell underneath the basket, puts it up, wouldn't go. I think Freisteller got the rebound down, trying to get it. Mutinda up, and a whistle. Looks like it's going to be a battle underneath the basket all night long.
Yeah, I was just going to say a lot of physical contact in the paint. Both teams are going after that ball anytime it comes off the glass.
First shot up by Mutinda off the front. The back of the rim would not go. It doesn't look like there's going to be many easy points in the paint tonight. Strauss in gives Harrison a moment to breathe. 1 minute 34 seconds left to go. Second shot by Mutinda, rims off to the near side. Keys with the rebound. 1 minute 30 seconds left to go. Saline with the ball here in the first. 18-8, 10-point lead by Saline on the near wing. Carr has it. Carr working against Strauss. Carr dribbles to his left. Carr moves it back over to Washington. Washington on the near wing. Lyle watching him. Washington steps back, gets it over to Carr. Carr dribbles to his right on the near sideline. Now Carr trying to work his way into the paint. Carr spinning with it. Gets it back over to Washington. Now that moved over to Woods on the far sideline. Hands it off to Sanderson. Sanderson fires a long three. That one off the back of the rim. Freisteller with it. Pioneer trying to get it down to single digits. Sampa brings it ahead. 10-point lead by Saline. Freisteller. 47 seconds left in this first quarter. Sampa in the far corner with it. Sampa stops. Feeds it over to Strauss on the far sideline. Strauss over to Lyle, top of the key. Lyle dribbles to his left, now dishes it off. Freisteller trying to move it underneath Mutinda. Mutinda spins with it. Mutinda launches it all the way back to Sampa on the far sideline. 26 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Screen by Mutinda for Sampa. Sampa top of the key. Sampa down the far side at the far elbow. That's going to be a travel and flip it with 18 seconds left in the first over to Saline. Still 10-point lead by Saline. Washington inbound baseline left. 1 foul on Pioneer, 4 on Saline. That will reset in 18 seconds as it's quarter by quarter now. 5 points, the magic number to get into the double bonus. There is no single bonus anymore. Sanderson for Saline, over half court. Sampa watching him. 6 seconds left to go. Sanderson inside near corner, trying to work his way around. Sanderson for 3, and that off the back of the rim would not go. He dished it to Leventhal and got it back, but at the end of 1, it is Pioneer down by 10. Saline 18, Pioneer 8. What are your thoughts on that first, Coach?
Well, Pioneer had that slow start, 0 for 6 in field goals, and it seems like right now they're a little more comfortable on offense and getting some points on the board. But looking at their average, 13.9 is what Saline average is giving up. They just kept Pioneer to 8.
Yeah, indeed.
Five points there. So, and on the other hand, with Pioneer averaging giving up 11.3 and Saline with 18, that's a difference there.
Big difference, absolutely. Is it sometimes hard after the first time in 5 years you beat your crosstown rival Huron 2 nights ago, and then you have Saline coming into your gym just a couple days ago? Is it sometimes hard where you expend a lot of energy in that game and trying to get it cranked up again 2 days later? Can that be hard for players sometimes?
Sometimes it can be, and especially younger players.
Yeah.
But it depends on how teams approach that with their practices and scout reports and how they prepare.
So Sanderson over into near corner for Carr. Carr dribbling around the arc, trying to move it over to Washington. Washington on the near wing working against Strauss. Washington on the far side of the paint, puts it up off the rim, front back, wouldn't go. Sampa the other direction for Pioneer. Sampa over to Strauss. Strauss over on the near wing to Weil. Weil kicks it top of the key to Freistiller. Freistiller down the far side of the paint, puts it up. Whistle underneath. And it's a good way for a team that's having some shooting woes to attack that basket, try and get those fouls, and maybe get yourself going at the line.
That was a great move by Freistiller. He was driving to the hoop with as weak hand and protecting the ball. And, yeah, that's a good way to get to the paint and get a shot off. And if you don't get it, you're probably going to end up at the line and have the opportunity for at least 1 or 2 points.
Freistiller, first one good, second one up off the front of the rim. Mutinda trying to track it down, tips it to Freistiller for 3, off the side of the rim. Mutinda pulls it down in traffic, knocked away, but a whistle. 7 minutes, 20 seconds left to go. Pioneer has it down to a 9-point lead for Saline, 18-9. Sampa to inbound, yes sir.
It's so important for the bigs or anyone in the paint to keep the ball high, and Matilda brought it down and he got in trouble. So we always teach, catch the ball high, keep the ball high.
Indeed. Carr to inbound. There's a Mutinda picked up an offensive foul there. That gives Saline the ball with a 9-point lead, bringing it ahead. Sanderson over half court. Sanderson takes a long 3-pointer. That off the back of the rim. Sampa gets it. Here comes Pioneer. Sampa down the near side of the paint. Dishes it off to Weil. Now Strauss for 3. Strauss hits it. Strauss with his second 3-pointer. And we got it down to a 6-point game, 18-12. As Sanderson coming down the far baseline, puts it up, it rattles around, finally finds its way down. Sanderson with 10 points, and it's 20-12, 8-point lead for Saline. Freistiller on the far sideline, gets it over to Mutinda in the far corner. Mutinda trying to work his way down the baseline, spins with it, trying to put it up, falls just short off the front of the rim. Saline with the rebound the other direction, spinning with it, Carr into the paint, blocked from behind by Strauss, battle for it, Saline comes away with the ball. On the far sideline, Sanderson to Carr in the far corner. Dishes it off, Leventhal for 3 off the front of the rim. Sampa trying to get to it as there was a whistle underneath. Powell's going to come in for Pioneer.
But Tommy Carr did a good job of attacking there, and he displayed some excellent footwork to get that shot off.
Sampa picks up those first foul, 2 on Pioneer, 1 on Saline this period. Sanderson, top of the key for Woods. Woods steps back. Woods gets a little room to work. Strauss watching him. Woods bounce pass underneath to Sanderson, puts it up. That a little too far. Key with it. There's going to be a whistle. And foul on Lyle. And inbounded by over to Key. Now over to Sanderson for Saline. Trying to come over. Picked up. Now moved all the way back to Woods. Woods just inside of half court. Woods at the free throw line. Trying to make it. Dishes off in the far corner for Leventhal. Leventhal inside the three-point line. Over to Carr. Carr down the paint. That block popped up. Trying to get it. Battle for it on the far sideline. Strauss comes away with it. Freisteller over to Lyle. Lyle puts it up. Wouldn't go. Freisteller trying to get it. There's a foul underneath. I believe that's going to be on Saline. 20-12. 8-point lead by Saline. That's going to be Sanderson, his second foul with 5:29 left to go here before halftime. 8-point lead. Wyden comes in. That gives Leventhal a breather. Pioneer. Sampa to inbound, baseline left. Gets it to Powell. Powell over to Lyle. Lyle on the near wing. Back to Sampa. Sampa on the near wing, trying to work his way around the arc. Strauss shows a screen. Sampa dishes it back off to Lyle on the near wing. Lyle puts it up off the rim. Rebound by Strauss. Would not go. Keys with the rebound. Quickly the other direction. Here comes Woods for Saline. Woods has it top of the key. Moves it over to Wyden. Wyden dishes it off to Carr. Carr just inside of half court. Moves it over to Sanderson. Sanderson comes top of the key. Sanderson puts up a three-pointer. That one in. 13 points for Sanderson. He's feeling it tonight. 23-12. Back to 11-point lead. Sampa for Pioneer. Over on the near sideline. Lyle puts it up. That wouldn't go. Pulled down by Keys. Now here comes Sanderson the other direction over half court. Sanderson steps back at the top of the key. Now over. Comes just inside of half court. Getting some room to work. Sampa right there. Keys gets him a screen. Freisteller comes out to watch Sanderson. That rebound by Keys. Blocked by Freisteller, but they're going to blow a whistle and call a foul. Freisteller will pick up his first foul. That is the fourth on Pioneer. 2 on Saline this quarter. 4:21 left to go here before halftime. 11-point lead. Keys with an opportunity to make it 25. First one would not go. One more coming for Keys. Keys bends the knees, puts it up off the back of the rim. Powell tracks it down in the near corner. 23-12, 11-point lead for Saline. Sampa brings it up for Pioneer. Dishes it off to Lyle, now top of the key. And back over to Lyle, underneath, trying to get to Strauss. Strauss on the far side of the paint, trying to put it up, couldn't get everything on it. Coming the other direction, here comes Sanderson for Saline over half court. Sanderson looking for a screen, coming down the far side of the paint, gets it over to Keys now. Top of the key, over to Carr. Moving over to Sanderson on the far sideline. Sanderson into the far corner for Woods. Woods puts up a three, puts it in. And Saline is really feeling the three-point play. 26-12, 14-point lead for the Hornets. Pioneer has it. Freisteller on the far side of the paint. Freisteller trying to put it up and in, would not go. Sanderson the other direction, over half court. Sanderson top of the key. Sanderson, travel called as he lost his balance a little bit as he was driving the lane. That will be Pioneer ball. 3:24 left to go here in the second. 26-12, 14-point lead for Saline. Strauss out there, Sampa for Pioneer, Mutinda, Powell, as well as Harrison. Sampa over half court for Pioneer, gets it over to Mutinda, top of the key. Now Powell has it. Over to Strauss on the near wing, gets it over to Harrison. Sampa. Sampa dribbles, works his way around the arc. Sampa puts up a three-pointer. That rattles around, wouldn't go, coming down quickly the other direction. Here comes Washington. Washington gives it to Woods for Saline. Woods, top of the key. Woods steps back, works his way around the arc. Woods now on that far sideline. Woods gets it to Wyden, top of the key. Wyden comes over into the near corner for Washington. Washington, top of the key. Harrison watching him. Now trying to dish it off to Woods down into the paint. That up and in. Woods with 5 points. Then it's 28-12, 16-point lead. Sampa ahead for Pioneer down the far side of the paint. Finger roll up and in. Sampa attacking the basket, trying to get Pioneer back into this game. It is 28-14. Saline has them doubled up. Woods coming down the far side of the paint. Woods stops. Top of the key, working his way around the arc into the near corner. That was tipped away.
That's one thing Nelson Sampa does real well when he's attacking. His eyes are up. He sees his teammates, and he reads the defense, and he just read there. He could get to the hole for layup.
Definitely a Pioneer in much need of those 2 points. Coming ahead, Carr over half court. Carr gets it over to Keys on the near wing. Top of the key, over to Woods. Now Carr dishes underneath. And Keys puts it up. Battles down, ripped away as that's put up high. Would not go, still battling back there. Harris down to the ground with Harrison. And that is going to be Harris versus Harrison. Pioneer with the ball. As this is a physical game. So Harris picks up the foul. Here comes Pioneer down by 14. Strauss has it on the near wing. Gets it over to Harrison, top of the key. Harrison, there's a shot by Powell. Would not go off the front of the rim. Pulled down as Mutinda puts it up and in. He has 3 points. It's 28-16. 12-point lead, or 9-point lead. I can do some basic math. 8-point lead. Sorry for my mathing wasn't working. Harrison puts it up, finger roll in. Harrison with his first points of the game. Now it's a 10-point game.
And that layup was in the middle of 2 defenders, and he was obviously the smaller of the 3 players. It was mentally and physically tough to finish that play.
Absolutely. So Pioneer has it down to a 10-point lead. It got all the way up to, I believe it was up to 16 at the time. So what do you say in the huddle to try and keep your team from kind of worrying about the deficit and just focusing on each possession and playing?
Exactly. That's what I was just going to say. You focus on each possession. You got to take care of the ball. You don't want to turn it over. We want to get at least 1 shot, and if it's a miss, we want to get that offensive rebound, then get in the transition, get back.
Especially early, Saline was really dominating the defensive glass, not allowing many offensive rebounds. It's a little bit better now, but it's been tough going for Pioneer, especially under that basket. And trying to control Sanderson has been an uphill battle so far. He has a lot of skills. Sanderson moving it over. Sampa knocks it away. Here comes Mutinda. Harrison spinning with it. 10-point lead for Saline. Harrison puts up a 3. And off the rim, wouldn't go. Pulled down by Keys. Here comes Sanderson for Saline down the far sideline. Sanderson to the far wing. Sanderson just inside of half court. Sampa watching him. 47 seconds left before halftime. Carr now on the near wing. Carr dribbles into the paint. Carr. Now Mutinda. Right there. Sanderson has it on the far sideline. Sanderson trying to come down the baseline. Runs into Harrison. That goes out of bounds. That will be Pioneer ball. Pioneer trying to get it to single digits with 33.7 seconds left to go. Pioneer would love to make a little bit of run to get some momentum going into halftime. Strauss inbound in front of his own bench. Mutinda taking care of a loose lace. That inbounded to Sampa. Sampa bringing it ahead for Pioneer. Sampa over half court. Sampa Working against Woods, Sampa moves it over to Strauss, now over to Freisteller on the far sideline. Freisteller over to Harrison. Now 5 feet inside of half court. Over to Sampa, just inside the near sideline. 14 seconds left to go. Sampa calling out signals. Pioneer playing for the last basket. Sampa gets a screen for Mutinda, races down, finger roll up. Wouldn't go, 5 seconds left to go. Another rebound for Saline, quickly ahead. Carr has it, puts it up. Wouldn't go, and at the end of the second period, at the end of the first half, it is 28-18, Saline with the lead. Now, that half, Pioneer held Saline down to 10 points, so that's a little bit more like their average of 11.
Correct. Sanderson has to be dealt with, and no one has the answer to that, but I'm sure we'll see some kind of adjustment. But, when someone's consistently hitting those long threes with confidence, that makes it really tough.
Because you don't want to go all the way out and cover him tight, because he has the skills and ability to cut past and make it to the basket. He's definitely been playing well.
I'll tell you what you think as a defender and as a coach. Well, he can't make another one of those.
Indeed.
He did. Oh, he's just getting lucky right now. No, he's got a real nice form on his shot. He uses his legs. He follows through with his wrist. He's got a lot of arc on his shot, which I think is really, really important. We got some quickie stats here for the teams. Rebound-wise, it's even, 14-14. At the line, Pioneers 50%, making 4 out of 8. Saline's only been to the line twice and 0 there. But Pioneers turned it over 7 times, Saline 6. In the paint, Saline's got an edge, 8-6. 3-point field goals is the biggest difference right here.
Indeed.
Pioneer has hit 2 threes. Saline has 18 points as a result of that.
That's the difference right there in the game at this point. Is that is key? Absolutely.
But I think Saline's doing a real good job offensively with their passing. They're patient. Looks like they're running kind of like a 4-out offense, and they move the ball well, and Pioneers got to stay in that good defensive stance, good team help, and don't give them a second chance.
Indeed. So before we go to halftime, anything else you want to say, or do you want to flip over to the You Make the Call? And
what do you want to do? I don't care.
Let's do You Make the Call.
All right.
We'll take a couple messages then do an intermission scoreboard report.
Sounds good, Mark. All right, here's the scenario. They're in the first of, where the letter means the team, so we have an A and B team, and the number is the number of the player. During the first of A's 20's 2 free throws, A 54 and B 50, who are in marked lane spaces, commit violation at the same time prior to A20's release of the ball. So they're stepping in the lane at the same time. What is the result? What do you call? Is it A? Player 20 shall attempt should attempt both free throws.
Mm-hmm.
B, A54's violation is ignored, and if A20's first free throw is successful, A20 shall receive a substitute free throw. Or C, A20's first free throw is canceled and play is resumed with A20's second free throw. Or D, last option, both free throws are canceled, play is resumed with an alternating possession throw-in.
So we'll give you a second to think about that, and we'll play a little bit, a couple messages from the MHSAA, and then we'll do an intermission scoreboard report and come back with the answer to the You Make the Call. You're watching Pioneer Men's Varsity Basketball, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Nearly 2,000 of the state's top student athletes will be recognized for excelling academically and in school activities through the MHSAA's Scholar Athlete Award, underwritten by Farm Bureau Insurance. The applicants will be in the running for a total of 32 $1,000 college scholarships. Application materials are available exclusively online through the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Well, let's do an intermission scoreboard report here as taking a look back on January 5th. It was Monroe beating Ottawa Lake Whiteford 46-37. These are all SEC Red games. It was Saline beating Flat Rock 57-50. Temperance Bedford beat Monroe St. Mary's Catholic Central 58-52, and Ypsilanti Lincoln beat Detroit East English 71-57. On the 6th, it was Detroit University Prep and Art Design beating Skyline 49-44. Dexter beat Toledo Woodward of Ohio 60-46. Back on January 9th, it was Huron beating Monroe 60-33. Skyline beating Temperance Bedford 70-44. Saline topped Dexter 67-44, and it was Ypsilanti Lincoln giving Pioneer their first loss 62-50. On January 10th, it was Huron beating Chelsea 72-48. Monroe beat Ypsilanti Community 52-48. On the 16th, Chelsea beat this Saline team by 2 points, 59-57. It was Temperance Bedford taking out Detroit Henry Ford, 55-51. On the 17th, one game in the SEC Red, that was Pioneer beating Huron 61-55. Games happening today besides this one. Skyline is hosting Huron, Dexter hosting Monroe, and Temperance Bedford hosting Lincoln. Over in the SEC White, it was back on the 5th. Adrian beat Ypsilanti Arbor Prep 65-52. University of Detroit Jesuit beat Chelsea 87-78. It was Fowlerville beating Pinckney 64-50. Tecumseh beat Brooklyn Columbia Central 56-39. On the 6th, it was Jackson topping Oak Park 60-53. Ypsilanti Community beat Detroit Universal Academy 61-18. On the 9th, Lansing Waverly beat Jackson 68-47. On the 10th, we know about that Huron game beating Chelsea 72-48. Monroe beat Ypsilanti Community 52-48. On the 15th, it was Kalamazoo Loy Norks beating Jackson 69-68. Ypsilanti Community beat Pinckney 55-53. On the 18th, it was Green Hills beating Ypsilanti Community 57-42. We know about the Chelsea Sling game. Pinckney beat Whitmore Lake 52-35. Tecumseh beat Blissfield 55-35. Tecumseh, and then on the 17th, it was Adrian beating Adrian Madison 63-51. As we have about a minute left in halftime, let us get the answer. You want to read the "You Make the Call" one more time, and
Sure.
we will,
During the first of A20's two free throws, A54 and B50, who are in marked lane spaces, commit the violation exactly the same time before A20's release of the ball. What is the result? Well, the result is A20 shall attempt both free throws. They counter-react. So, and he hadn't released the ball anyway.
So like an offsetting penalty,
Yeah.
things like that in football where they replay the down, very similar. They both committed the lane violation at the same time, so they'll shoot the 2 free throws.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. I appreciate that. Love these. Thank you so much for putting these together. Always,
you're welcome.
Always learning
You're
more
welcome.
about the game is wonderful.
Well,
so,
and I enjoy teaching, and teaching the rules of the game is important.
absolutely. That way when you yell about it, you know what you're yelling about. Sampa comes in over on the far sideline. It's 28-18. Saline with the lead. Harrison down on the near wing. Harrison kicks it back to Powell for 3. That off the front back of the rim. Wouldn't go. Keys with the rebound. Again, big defensive rebound. Here comes Sanderson. Sanderson on the near sideline. And that kick back. Keys moves it over. Back to Sanderson. Sanderson just inside of half court. Sanderson on the near sideline now. Sanderson dribbling to the right. Gets it over on the near wing. Out of bounds as we just had the entire Saline student section stand up to our left. So I'll do my best to call what's going on in the corner. As Sampa brings it ahead for Pioneer. 10-point lead. 7:18 left to go. Powell has it, top of the key, moves it over to Harrison on the far wing. Back to Freisteller, top of the key. Freisteller comes down the near side of the paint, dishes it off to Powell. Now back to Sampa just inside of the far sideline. Mutinda with the screen. Sampa comes on the near wing over to Freisteller. Freisteller on the near sideline into the paint. Freisteller spins with it, puts it up off the back of the rim. Mutinda with the rebound. Mutinda quickly up and in. Mutinda with 5 points. And it's 28-20. 8-point lead for Saline. There's a 3-pointer from the far sideline. Rimmed out by Woods. Rebound by Saline as Keys got the rebound. That dished all the way out to Sanderson in the far corner. Sanderson working on the far corner. Freisteller watching him. Sanderson now dishes off on the near wing to Woods. Woods comes top of the key, trying to work his way into the paint. Woods, that is going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow points Saline's way. So Saline with the ball. They will inbound. Keys has it on the far wing. Gets it to Wyden, top of the key. Over into the near wing. Back over. There's a 3-pointer by Sanderson. Wouldn't go. Popped up way high. Grabbed by Saline. Moved over to Sanderson. Sanderson at the free throw line. And a whistle blown. That is going to be Harrison on the foul. Second foul on Harrison.
Sanderson's got a quick first step, a quick first dribble, so the defender has to get there just a little sooner.
Woods for 3 off the back of the rim, and that's the first time Keys has really been playing loose with that over the back, and he just got tagged with going over the back now. Here comes Sampa coming down the far sideline. 5:48 left to go. Sampa trying to make his way around. Sampa in the near elbow. Gets it over to Freisteller. Now there's a 3-pointer by Sampa off the side of the rim. Keys tipped out of bounds. That will be Pioneers' ball. Keys trying to corral it. Ended up out of bounds. 28-20. 8-point lead by Saline. 5:38 left to go here in the third. Bringing it ahead is Sanderson over half court on the near wing. Sanderson trying to get a screen from Keys. Now puts it into the near corner as coming in. Carr has it tipped away. Sampa down to the floor, gets it. Now cutting it ahead. Here comes Harrison down the near side of the paint. And a heavy collision underneath. Harrison down to the court. Basket wouldn't go. Sanderson picks up his third foul. As Harrison to the line to shoot 2, trying to get it down to a 6-point game. First shot is up and rattles around, fell off the near side. Just spun right off that rim. One more coming for Harrison. Next one up by Harrison. Nothing but net on that one. Harrison with 3 points. And it's a 7-point lead for Saline, 28-21. Racing down the baseline, moving over to Carr. Now Wyden coming down the near side of the paint. Wyden puts it up high. That rebounded by Harrison. Here comes Pioneer. The other direction. Powell into the paint. Powell puts it up, blocked from behind. Powell, Harrison puts it up. There's a foul. As it was a heavy collision underneath, Saline still has a player down. Woods picks up his first foul. That is the third on Saline this period. Again, Saline player down. We hope they're all right. The trainer comes over to take a look at them. Trying to see who that is. As they'll take a look at that player, and had one of these during the JV game as well. You love to see all these players play their hearts out, but you don't want to see any of these young athletes injured. I think that's actually Carr who's down. Legs are moving. Now he's being helped up. And Tommy Carr able to get to his feet. Good round of applause. Excellent sportsmanship by this crowd. And he is limping on that right leg a little bit. We hope he's all right. Washington comes in. 5:01 left to go here in the third. 28-21. Saline with the lead. Pioneer to inbound. Sampa baseline right. Sampa gets it into Mutinda off the side of the glass. Pulled down by Keys coming the other direction. Here comes Sanderson. Sanderson makes his way to the free throw line. Puts it up and in. Sanderson, no hesitation, just stopped, popped, and put it in. Here comes Pioneer the other direction, 30-21. Saline with the lead here with 4:42 left to go. Harrison into the paint. Harrison trying to put it up as dishes off to Mutinda, who gets it. 7 points for Mutinda. 30-23. Now Washington moves it over to Keys for Saline, pulled away as Freisteller gets it over to Sampa. Sampa for Pioneer, down on the near side of the paint. Bounce pass underneath to Mutinda. Up and in. Mutinda now with 9 points, and it's a 5-point game. 30-25, and Pioneer maybe starting to feel it.
Well, that was a nice entry pass from Sampa to get that layup. Again,
absolutely.
He read the defense and reacted accordingly. He got the defense to come up, and he pushed a nice bounce pass in to get that score.
I think that'd be a big thing is if they can get Mutinda underneath and some of those points in the paint going a little bit more. And thus far, the three-point shooting hasn't been quite as hot for Saline, but they could heat up at any moment now.
Well, what impresses me about Mutinda is he's got a jump shot in his arsenal, and he's got kind of a traditional jump shot, and he's got a straight jump hook shot.
Yeah.
And as he gets stronger and uses his legs more, those are going to fall at a much higher percentage. But, yeah, he has so much potential. I think he is a key factor in this team. Indeed.
And would you be worried if you were coaching Saline with having Sanderson with 3 fouls now with 4:17 left to go? Would that worry you any, or would you just ride your hot hand and try and keep the lead? It's tough, right?
There's so many factors.
You know?
Indeed. The key factor is the kid. It depends on the maturity of the kid, is the decision making.
Indeed.
And it's a tough call. I always argue with my assistant coaches on that one.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt. Speaking of, here comes Sanderson. 5-point lead for Saline. Woods coming down the far sideline. Whistle on that far sideline. Harrison can't believe it. His hands are up on his head. Micah Powell picks up the foul. That's Powell's first foul. 2 on Pioneer, 3 on Saline in this period, in this quarter. Widened inbound. Powell trying to watch it. Sanderson has it on the far sideline. Sampa watching him. Sanderson gets just inside of half court. Sanderson gets a screen from Keys. Sanderson, top of the key, moves it over on the near wing. Three-point shot wouldn't go. Trying to pull it down, and Mutinda pulls it away. In a good battle with Washington. Here comes Sampa the other direction. Pioneer can get it down to a 3 or 2 point lead. Here comes Powell, gets it to Freisteller, down into the paint. Freisteller, finger roll with the left hand. Freisteller with 7, and it's now a 3-point game. Coming ahead with it into the near corner is Sanderson. Sanderson trying to get to the paint. Sampa watching him. Sanderson into the near corner, puts it up, puts it in. Sanderson with 17 points. Pioneer quickly the other way. It's a 5-point lead for Saline. Sampa at the top of the key. Sampa gets a screen from Mutinda. Sampa thought about it, now moves it over to Freisteller, top of the key. On the near wing for Powell, who puts up a 3. That off the side of the rim. Freisteller with the rebound up. That a little too strong. Mutinda trying to get the rebound. That out to Sampa. There's a couple huge offensive rebounds for Pioneer. Mutinda on the baseline now. Mutinda gets into the paint, kicks it off. Freisteller for 3. That off the rim wouldn't go. Freisteller trying to get to it, and it went out of bounds. 5-point lead for Saline with 2:43 left to go. Every possession so important for both of these teams. Woods gets it over to Sanderson, up the far side, over half court. Sanderson calls out signals. Now Sanderson gets it back from Washington into the near corner. Sanderson now dishes it all the way off to Washington on the far corner. Down the baseline, Washington loses it but gets it back. Harrison, defensive there, and a travel call. That'll go over to Pioneer. That was all about Harrison's defense that caused that. 2:19 left to go here in the third. 32-27. Saline with the lead. Washington goes out. Carr back in. We're glad to see he's all right. Sampa brings it up the far sideline for Pioneer. We haven't seen a lot of full court pressure as of yet. Sampa over half court. Sampa over to Freisteller on the far wing. Now top of the key over to Mutinda. Over on the near wing to Powell. Powell on the baseline to Freisteller. Freisteller trying to work his way into the paint, and that's a charge. .205 left to go here in the third. 5-point lead for Saline. Widened inbound to Sanderson. Sanderson down the near sideline. Sanderson calling out signals. Sampa watching him. Sanderson trying to work his way. Puts it up, puts it in. Sanderson has 19 points, 34-27. Here comes Pioneer down the baseline. Lyle getting it over to Freisteller. As contact, no foul. That comes back. Lyle gets it. Lyle moves it over to Powell in the near corner. Down the baseline, now moved over to Freisteller, who puts up a jump shot off the side of the rim. Bounce back the other direction. Sanderson with the rebound. Pioneers offense coming down. That put up. Woods with a finger roll going underneath the basket. And put back up and in by Keys. 1 minute, 18 seconds left to go. Sampa in the third. Sampa moves it over to Strauss. 36-27. Strauss, that off the side of the rim. Sampa puts up a three-pointer. That off the rim to the near side, and a foul underneath. The official saw something I didn't, and that will go over to Saline.
I think there's a little contact there, and that's a fine line on making that call or not.
Believe me, I would not want to wear the striped shirts. That is a tough job. And we can't have the games we love without them. If you watch a game and think you could do better, hey, contact your local coach or the MHSAA. Sanderson brings it up with 1 minute, 3 seconds left to go here in the third. 9-point lead for Saline. Sanderson into the near corner. And off the rim. Now here comes Pioneer the other direction. Sampa gets it over to Strauss. Strauss into the paint. Strauss trying to put it up. That got tied up underneath. Foul there that's going to be on Wyden. That is his second.
Again, I think Sampa is getting better and better at pushing that ball, and he had his head up and he found the open man. And that's not an easy task.
Indeed. First one up and rolls around and in by Strauss. 36-28. 8-point lead by Saline. Pioneer trying to get it down to 7. Next shot is up by Strauss. That one falls short, out of bounds. As Wyden will inbound baseline right. 47.9 seconds left to go. Both teams with 4 fouls. Next foul results in 2 free throws for either team. And that'll reset at the beginning of the 4th quarter. Full court pressure here by Pioneer. Wyden has it right at half court. Pulled away by Strauss. Strauss gets it over. That put up by Treat and in and one. Treat puts it in and he gets fouled from behind. Pioneer with an opportunity with a 3-point play. Leventhal picks up his first foul. It's a 6-point lead by Saline. Treat has an opportunity to get it back to 5. Pioneer got it down to a single possession game, and then Saline came roaring back. Pioneer went a little cold on the offensive side. They're trying to heat up now. Treat puts it up, that off the front of the rim. And coming the other direction, here comes Saline with the 6-point lead. Woods gets it over to Sanderson down the near sideline. Sanderson back to half court. Sanderson steps back. Sanderson along the far sideline now. Sanderson races, top of the key. Now gets back. Sanderson puts it into the near side. Now Sanderson racing towards the basket. Picked up by Woods. Woods hands it off to Sanderson. Sanderson just inside of half court. Screen by Keys. That dished off into the near corner. Shot. That was no good. So at the end of 4, it is a 10-point game at the end of the first, 10-point game at the end of the second. It is now a 6-point game now. What does Pioneer have to do to try and come back in this 4th quarter?
Just play good basketball, take care of the ball. You don't want to turn it over. Always have 5 guys out there that are tuned in. And I always said to my guys, man, if you're tired, get your hand up. I'll get some fresh legs in, and I'll get you back in.
Indeed.
But you can't let up defensively. I just noticed something about Sanderson I really like, and we teach this all the time, is I ask this question. When you make a pass, who's the most likely guy to be open? It's you.
After you make the pass, they rotate away. Yeah.
The defender relaxes just for a split second. Might come from a good defensive stance to coming up on his knees, and that's when you attack. Sanderson just did that. He read that, and he made a good, strong cut. Now, nothing developed in that rotation of the play, but that's a great skill.
It's the give and go as you give it off, then cut towards the basket and leave your defender in the dust.
You got to go right now.
Indeed. Speaking of right now, Pioneer looking to get this lead pared down. Sampa for 3 off the rim, trying to pull it down. Carr has it. 36-30, 6-point lead for Saline, and they have the ball. Sanderson coming down the far sideline. Sanderson into the paint, stops, puts it up, rattles around and home. Sanderson, again, great defense by Sampa, but Sanderson with 21 points, and it's 38-30. Lyle has it on the far sideline, watched by Sanderson. Now Treat, top of the key, over to Sampa on the near wing. Sampa gets it back over to Lyle, now over to Treat on the far sideline. Lyle now on the near wing. Lyle works his way around the arc, trying to get to Mutinda. That knocked away, but Mutinda gets it back underneath. That looks like that's going to be a foul on Keys. 3rd foul on Keys. Freisteller has it down the far side of the paint, puts it up, puts it in. Basket should count. Wyden picks up his 3rd foul. Chance for a 3-point play here for Pioneer, trying to get it down to, again, a 5-point lead. Freisteller puts it up, puts it in. Freisteller has 10 points. He leads all Pioneer players. quickly the other direction. Here comes Sanderson. 38-33, 5-point lead. That put up and down. And again, we apologize. Forgive our our view down here. All the students are normally on the other side, but they all are right in front of our camera and all decide to stand up the second half. So we're doing as best we can. Had inbounded to Carr, knocked down, trying to get it Keys. Keys gets it back. Lyle popped it up. Now Carr has it on the far sideline. Coming back, Sanderson just inside of half court. Now Sanderson at the top of the key, steps back on the block A. Sanderson dishes it off to Carr. Carr for three. That off the rim, pulled down by Mutinda. 6 minutes, 30 seconds left to go. That dished off. Treat on the near wing. Sampa has it. Pioneer down by 5. Sampa gets it over to Freisteller on the near wing. Freisteller down into the paint, puts it up, puts it in! Freisteller with 12. That was a tough shot. No arc, able to put it in, and it's a 3-point game. Here comes Sanderson, 38-35, 6:06 left to go. Sanderson has it for Saline. Stops, dishes it off over on the near wing. Trying to make his way in is Woods. Woods gets it over to Keys, now back over to Carr. Carr steps back, top of the key, over to Woods on the far sideline. Woods gets it up to Key. That knocked away by Mutinda. Is Mutinda going forward at the same time as Keys? I think they're going to call that Saline ball, but substitution. Treat goes out. Powell comes in. 5:47 left to go. 3-point lead by Saline. They have the ball. Sanderson over to Key on the far wing. Key gets it to Sanderson. Sanderson down the far side of the paint. Sanderson back over on the far sideline. Now Sanderson over into the near corner. That put up and put in. Washington for 3. That's his first points of the game, as that makes it 41-35, and it seems like every time Pioneer gets it down to 3, Saline has an answer.
They're playing very well for 6 sophomores, aren't they?
Absolutely. 2 seniors, 6 sophomore, one junior, and they're playing like a seasoned veteran team. 5 minutes, 31 seconds left to go.
And I didn't mention earlier, Mark, if you look over there on the bench, you see a 7-foot gentleman. He's a sophomore who's ineligible this first semester. Coach is hoping the Michigan High School Athletic Association will approve his eligibility for the second semester. He's a legit 7-foot. His name's Mongola Ghana, and he's a sophomore. And wears a size 18 shoe, and he is anxious to get going.
I don't doubt it. Yeah, when they had the national anthem, you can kind of see in that over in that huddle, there's a gentleman who stands a good head above everyone else, and there's not a lot of small people over there. So I'm glad he's in street clothes today. How about that?
Well, Coach says he's a real good kid, and he's anxious to get going, and I don't blame him. I hope he has the opportunity to get on the floor the second semester.
It's no fun to have to sit and watch your teammates play. Sampa brings it ahead for Pioneer. 6-point lead, 41-35. Lyle on the near wing into the near corner for Powell. Powell back to Lyle. Now Sampa, who thought about really long three-pointer. Lyle, top of the key. Lyle dribbles to his right. Gets it over to Powell. Powell trying to work away, and they will call a travel. As contact made with Sanderson, and Lyle stumbled a bit. That caused the travel. 41-35 with 5:07 left to go here in the fourth. Washington bound on the near sideline. 5:07 left to go. 41-35, 6-point lead by the Hornets. Sanderson brings it over half court, gets it over to that put up back by Sanderson, wouldn't go, whistle there as Keys dished it off to Sanderson. That was on a 3. Looks like it was Mutinda with the foul. That is his second. That looks like he's going to be shooting 3 free throws, though. It's never fun to foul someone on a three-pointer. Although Sanderson, you feel like you got to come out and cover him as well, and that can lead to that foul. First one is up and good by Sanderson. He has 22 points. He has a chance to get it back to a 9-point lead here. Next shot by Sanderson, up and good. He has not missed many. He's looking to make it 24 points and a 44-35 lead for Saline. And he nails all three. Here comes Pioneer. Sampa has it over half court, 44-35, 9-point lead by Saline. Freisteller gets it back to Sampa, top of the key, over to Lyle on the far sideline. Lyle into the far corner for Freisteller, back to Lyle, now over to Sampa, just off top of the key. Sampa back over to Freisteller on the far wing, underneath the Mutinda. Mutinda back to Freisteller, into the paint. Freisteller puts it up, and off the side of the rim, over onto the near side, and Keys trying to get it out of bounds. That should be Pioneer ball. 4:30 left to go here in the fourth. Powell in, gives Strauss a breather. Sampa to inbound baseline right. 4 minutes, 30 seconds left to go. Pioneer had it down to a 3-point lead. It is now 7 for Saline. Lyle gets it over to Sampa on the far sideline. Over to Freisteller on the far wing. Back to Mutinda down the baseline. Mutinda puts it up. That falls off the rim to the near side. That went off of Wyden. That will stay Pioneer ball as it hit his shoulder and went out. 4:19 left to go. Sampa again to inbound, baseline right. Sampa looking for a place to go. Gets it over to Lyle. Lyle top of the key. Over to Freisteller on the far wing. Into the far corner for Sampa. Sampa gets it over to Lyle on that far wing. Back to Sampa on the far sideline. Back to Lyle. Lyle top of the key. Bounce pass to Mutinda. Back over Sampa for a long three. Oh, that rims off the near side. Powell tracks it down in the near corner. Powell. I think that was tipped away as he was trying to bounce pass it in. That will be Pioneer's ball. 3 minutes and 59 seconds left to go. Saline with the 9-point lead, 44-35. And off, Freisteller trying to put it up, a little too strong. Keys has it. Keys gets it over, and coming up, here comes Sanderson over half court. Sanderson gets a screen from Keys. Sanderson takes the three-pointer, and that off the rim, pulled down by Freisteller. Freisteller brings the head for Pioneer, knocked from behind by Wyden. Wyden will pick up the foul. That will be his fourth foul. Wyden with 4 fouls, Keys with 3 fouls, Sanderson with 3 fouls. Although with 3:40 left to go, we'll see how much those fouls come into play. 9-point lead by Saline with 3:40 left to go. What are you telling your team in that huddle to try and keep them focused and keep their spirits up and try and make a run at the end of this game?
Defense, 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 and if we get to the line, every free throw is very important right now.
Indeed.
In that transition, after we score, you have to plan for that. What are we into? Are we going full court press, half court press? Are we going to mix some things up here? But we got to pressure the ball and as always, give 100% at both ends.
Sanderson is very, very good at ball handling, but I would be surprised if you don't see full court pressure coming up soon. Over on the near wing for Lyle, into the near corner for Powell. Back to Lyle on the near wing, works around the arc. Sampa putting up a long three-pointer, rattles around, would not go down. Mutinda trying to get the rebound, but Keys comes away with it. Keys has been huge for those rebounds underneath the basket. Here comes Sanderson over half court. Sanderson. There's a screen from Keys, and I believe that's a moving screen. That is going to be his 4th foul. So both Keys and Wyden have 4 fouls now. Next one for either of them, and they'll have to leave the game. Sampa brings the head for Pioneer. Now 9-point lead still for Saline, 44-35. Sampa, top of the key. Sampa kicks it over to Lyle. Lyle, timeout called. Coach Marion wants to talk it over.
Now you're thinking about if we're going to foul, who do we attempt to foul? And you've got to play really good defense on Sanderson.
Indeed.
I don't have the numbers, but I'm sure he's probably a 85% free throw shooter. And you don't want the clock stopped and your opponent putting points up on that board.
And the problem is, Sanderson is the main ball carrier, so if once he gets it, it's hard because he is very good at the line. So if you're going to foul someone, you really probably want to try and cover Sanderson, not let him get that inbound pass and try and force it to someone else, I would assume.
I have even double-teamed a player in that situation.
Yeah.
Or 2.5 players are responsible for just keeping the ball out of his hand.
Yeah.
And we practice for these situations. You got to be prepared. You got to have your bench ready to go. They got to be on the edge of their seat because they could be called any time to take any assignment.
Indeed. .302 left to go. Saline comes out of the timeout. Pioneer. The inbound, Freisteller right in front of coach on the far sideline. Or, well, coach is in front of the bench, but right in front of his assistant coaches. Sampa comes top of the key. Moves it over on the near wing to Powell and gets it back. Sampa. Bounce pass to Mutinda. Mutinda spins up in the paint, puts it up, wouldn't go. Mutinda gets the rebound from Keys, puts it up, and pulled down, would not go. 2 good looks at it, and they just wouldn't fall. 2:45 left to go here in the fourth. 9-point lead. Sanderson brings it ahead. Sanderson looking to try and put a dagger in now. Sanderson, and that's going to be a foul on Sampa as he got his knee in, and Sanderson ran into that. Sampa with his second foul. Wyden, the inbound right in front of the Skyline or the Saline students. Now into the near corner. That dished all the way out to Wyden. Wyden hands it off. That's stolen away. Here comes Sampa. Sampa puts it up. Finger rolls up and in. Sampa with 4 points on the game. That gets it down to a 7-point lead. Now double team. That's stolen away as they got it in to Sanderson. They stole it away, but now that's stolen away by Woods. Woods over to Sanderson. Sanderson down the far sideline to the free throw line. Sampa trying to pop that away. 2:04 left to go. That's skied all the way to Washington in the far corner. Down the baseline, collision with Mutinda. I believe Mutinda is going to pick up his third foul. Mutinda with his third foul. 3 fouls on Pioneer, 4 on Saline. So 1 more foul by Saline, and Pioneer will be going to the line. 2 more by Pioneer, and Saline will be. Washington inbounds, baseline left, and that goes off of Sampa's back, out of bounds. That will stay Saline ball. With 1 minute 57 seconds left. 7-point game, 44-37. Harrison back in for Pioneer. Freisteller trying to watch the inbound as Wyden right in front of his own bench. All the way back into the backcourt for Sanderson. Sanderson bringing it ahead for Saline. Moves it over on the near wing to Woods. Woods. And that is going to be a whistle and a timeout call by Saline. Looked like Woods was got the pass and was trying to keep it in bounds, and a quick timeout by their coach. 1 minute 52 seconds left to go. 7-point game. Well, you got a couple Saline players with 4 fouls. I know the Pioneers been looking for a three-pointer, but do you try and drive the lane against some of these players and try and get that 5th foul?
Oh, yes. You have to be in that attack mode.
Indeed.
Definitely. And the defender has to continue playing defense. You can't step back, let them around. You've got to have confidence in your teammate coming off the bench can come in and fill your role.
Wyden inbound on the near sideline. Wyden gets it all the way into the backcourt for Sanderson. Sanderson will pick it up just in the paint on the far side. Now coming up, Sanderson. Bounce pass over to Washington. Washington over to Wyden. That was a fastball. Moving it back to Sanderson. Sanderson trying to sneak past the double team, and that's going to be a foul on Harrison. So Harrison picks up his third foul. 4 fouls on Pioneer, 4 fouls on Saline. Next foul by either team will result in baskets by the other team. As Washington gets it in the paint. Now that put up and in. Woods has 7 points. Pioneer quickly the other direction as it's back to a 9-point game. Mutinda gets it back to Harrison for 3. That off the rim, pulled down by Sanderson. 1 minute, 25 seconds left to go. Sanderson over to Woods. Woods puts it up. That off the rim, pulled down. Here comes Freisteller. Pioneer down by 9, trying to make something happen. Woods trying to knock the ball from behind coming up, and Freisteller down to the ground. Pioneer had to call a timeout, and it is a tough hill to climb for Pioneer now with 1 minute, 13 seconds left. 9-point game, especially when your three-pointers aren't falling right now.
Coach is setting up a play right now and following that up with what we're going to do defensively. And I'm sure it'll be a full court situation and get into the attack mode. Still a lot of time. It's no time to panic.
So the team's cold from 3 in the second half, 1 for 18 combined, as it was a 3-point exhibition in the first half, as it seemed like few of them would not fall for, especially for Saline. And now that has gone cold, but Saline hasn't been able to, or Pioneer has not been able to take advantage of that, as Saline has kept that lead. And every time Pioneer gets close, Saline is able to put a run on of their own. Pioneer hoping for a miracle with 73 seconds left to go, down by 9.
And that statistic may determine this play. Still get 3, but the old-fashioned way by getting in the paint.
Sampa has it, gets a screen from Freisteller over to Harrison, into the near corner. Harrison gets it back. Harrison driving the lane, puts it up, rattles home. Harrison with 5 points. 46-39, 55 seconds left to go. Pioneer most likely has to foul. They get it over to Washington, and now Powell will try and foul him. Sampa grabs, and it looked like he was going for a jump ball, and I think he got called for the foul. He did indeed. So that will now put Saline to the line, Washington to the line. If you're a Pioneer fan, you're just happy it's not Sanderson at the line, although Washington could well be very good. I don't have his statistics here. 7-point game. Washington trying to get back to 9 as first one, nothing but net. As Washington now has 4 points. One more coming for Washington with 47.9 seconds left to go. That up and good. Washington hits them both. Not what Pioneer was hoping for. Here comes Freisteller ahead. 9-point game again. Freisteller hands it off to Sampa. Sampa thought about 3. Now Sampa dishes it off to Harrison. Harrison cuts between a couple defenders. Finger roll wouldn't go. Keys with the rebound. Foul underneath. I think that's going to be Harrison, and that would be 4 on Harrison. As it's a 9-point game. Keys to the line. It was on Mutinda, not Harrison. 4th foul on Mutinda, so Harrison only has 3. 34.2 seconds left to go. 9-point lead. Trying to make it 10 is Keys. Shot is up, shot is good. Keys with 7 points, 10-point game. Here comes Sampa, 31 seconds left to go. Freisteller on the far wing. Pioneers going to continue to battle. They have no quit. Harrison on the far wing, into the paint, driving, dishes off to Mutinda, up and in. Mutinda has 11 points. Back to a 9-point game with 17 seconds left to go. That inbounded, Keys dishes it off, racing Sanderson. He's fouled. That basket doesn't count. The foul beforehand, that would be I believe Sampa, who got the foul, that would be his fourth, with 9.7 seconds left to go. Sanderson to the line, trying to get it back to a 10-point game. First shot is up and good for Sanderson. He has 25 points, chance to make it 26. Next one up, no good, a whistle.
I didn't see that. Did he attempt to miss that one on purpose?
I think it might have been a lane violation. Pioneer with the ball. Dishes it over to Sampa. Sampa puts it up for three. That won't go. Freisteller with it. Wouldn't go again. Freisteller puts it up. Still won't go. Now Freisteller gets it right before the end, and that is 14 points for Freisteller. And a 7-point win as 50-43. As Saline able to score 14 points in that last period, as Pioneer had kept them down to 8 in the third. They had really locked down that defense. They had scored 12, but then Saline able to put on 14 points in the last quarter. Pioneer with 13, but not enough to come back. Any final thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I got some notes, and maybe we can get our toe-to-toe analysis here in a second. Saline, first of all, you don't have many games like this with a Sanderson, who is a very talented. I mean, he scored with threes. He scored with pull-up jumpers, drive-in, open shots. And I don't have the statistic, what he did at the line, but he shot a very high percentage.
Indeed.
And like I mentioned before, this certainly did not look like a 6 sophomore team.
Not at all.
They kept their opponent below their average, just keeping Pioneer to 43. I thought Freisteller did very well, and just what he did here in the last couple of seconds, a third effort on an offensive rebound.
Absolutely. Led the team with 14 points.
He led the team with 14. Matilda showed second and third efforts at times in this game.
Indeed.
And Sampa had a good all-around game and was quarterbacking the team.
Not a lot of points, 4 points, but he did a lot of rebounds, lots of passes, and really, really played hard. Absolutely.
Quick look at our quickie stats. Total rebounds. Pioneer out-rebounded Saline 32-24. At the line, Pioneer shot 6 of 14, and Saline was 6 of 11. Total turnovers was 4 for each team. In the paint, that's a big 22 points for Pioneer, 8 for Saline.
Huge into-point paint, absolutely.
And both teams went cold from the arc in that second half.
Saline had the one lone three-pointer. Pioneer no three-pointers, and really Pioneer played them fairly even in that second half. But it was that strong first half by Saline that carried them through. Any last thoughts before we let folks go on with their evening?
Well, and this game was closer than that score says, too.
Yeah.
It really was. Two good teams. Moving forward, I think both teams are going to really do well this season.
And I think a game like this is only going to help Coach to get his players' attention, make sure, Pioneer doesn't get too confident, doesn't get too, a loss like this can really focus a team, I think. So
yeah, you learn and adjust accordingly, and everyone gets better.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Coach. Thank you to Andy for being there. My wife, Christina Wiseman, on camera. Thank you very much. We will be back tomorrow. I think we'll have some Pioneer hockey. Hopefully, we will also have some Michigan women's hockey live from Traverse City, as that's where I'm going to run up to tomorrow morning as soon as I wake up. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. Thank you for watching, whichever team you cheer for. We are very, very grateful for your support of these wonderful athletes. Have a fantastic night, everybody. Final score, it was Saline 50, Pioneer 43.